Good morning, birdies. How are we? It's October 6th. It's Tuesday, and I actually made some promise. Yesterday, I was actually up until, I think the last time I looked at the clock, the time on my VCR, which does not work, it was, I think, 11:48 even, and I've been up since 6:04, and it's now 7:03. So it's progress, at least, not 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. I think even when I looked at the clock at 7:48, I was asleep by 7:49. So here we are. And my new format, I will do the birthday shout-outs first. So happy birthday to Matt Turk, who I used to work with when I worked at Time Magazine. One of the my favorite people in the office. He was like head New York sales director. He actually helped organize the last time I actually did something resembling stand-up comedy was at Caroline's, and he helped organize all the people from Time who came to that. Greg, Kristen, and he's all around, just fun guy, funny guy. We cracked each other up in the office. He was good people. Still is good people, and he's still more than welcome to come by Dorian's when I bartend, only during the day on the weekends, because I owe you, and bring Isaac with you, so we can catch up, and you guys can let me know how time is doing, and I'll let you know how I'm doing. But happy birthday to you, Matt, and happy birthday to Amy, who I basically know through my longtime friend Chris. He is her husband, she is his wife, and baby mama, and she's a diminutive little. I mean, she's not that big, but she's a small girl, and they have this kid, and the kid's, I guess, almost a year old, and she's a small petite girl, and healthy, fit. And what's funny is that pretty much 3 days after she had the kid, you could not tell she was ever pregnant. But the last 3 or 4 weeks when she was pregnant, she was because she's short, but she was as wide as she was. She was like the Da Vinci drawing illustration of the guy in the box with his hands out and his legs and his little weenie. She was like that because she could have made a square around her whole frame if she was standing profile. And then she had the baby, the big baby too, big baby who's finally grown into his head. This kid had like a big Stewie head. His head was like 80% of his body weight for like 4 months. He's a strong little kid, a healthy appetite, which he gets from his mom. Amy's like, one of those, it's kind of like she likes to eat, and she's the first one to admit it, and her husband Chris is always shocked about how much she can put away. She's, I guess, partially German, and Germans just always have good appetites, and Chris and Amy go to the Heidelberg right here in the neighborhood. He told me even over the cooler climates, winter and fall, they go there maybe once a week, maybe twice a week. And he's like, she puts the food away. And then you would say, well, where does she put the food? Because that's nothing, to me, especially being a foodie and a chef, there's a singular kind of sexiness with the girl who has an appetite. If you like to cook for people, you love to cook for people who love to eat. And the same thing as doing stand-up. And whatever I can do to make you, if I can make you happy, that's something that I guess find pride in myself about and would love to do for you. So if I can make you laugh, that's great. If you're hungry and I can feed you, that's great. Sometimes even better. My friend Lauren Polina, she weighs 70 pounds. I almost said she was like a sexy version of olive oil, but I think that would seem still too antithetical for people to grasp. She's a very pretty, skinny girl, and I won't embarrass her with how much food I've seen her put away at a barbecue, but I love to cook for her. She eats anything I put in front of her, and she's rail thin. And Amy's just fit, because Amy, when she used to live in the building with Chris, I guess we both worked in somewhere near the same neighborhood, and I'd walk out in the morning with her when I used to work at Time with Matt, and I'd wait for the bus at 86th Street, the limited, I guess it's called the limited because they make limited stops, but it's really more accurately because they show up limitedly and there's limited room on the bus, so sometimes you have to wait for the next one. But she would walking beat me down at 51st Street than me taking mass transit, which is just called mass transit because there's a mass of people on there, and a mass of vehicles on the streets. And so I guess that's how she worked off all of her food. And that's something also, you know, for those women, those of you who want to volunteer to have dinner with me on one of my, you know, food blogging adventures or whatever, it's just, if you're coming with me to be adventurous, then be adventurous with me. Don't have me take you to a steak place, then you order the chicken. Because that's just really, just, you know, that's just that's a deal breaker, ladies. Just like the girl who we were talking philosophy, which she brought up, and then she said Nietzsche, but she didn't. She dropped Nietzsche's name, but she said niche. She said Frederick Nietzsche, and I'm like, it's not niche, and she's like, I'm sorry, niche. And then I gave up. And oddly enough, I stopped seeing her for that reason. Just like the girl who ordered the chicken at a steak place. I'm like, I'm still friends with them. I still talk to them. It's just, you know, that was kind of, you know, I don't know. People who miss the point, I have no appeal for. That being said, I'm going to go now with the rest of my day. Happy birthday again to Matt and to Amy with the great appetite. Hopefully I find a girl who's got as much of an appetite. And to the rest of you, bon appetit to you too. Have a good day. Stay warm. Eat. And I'll talk to you soon. Ciao for now.